morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. I'm your host, Lucas. It is February the 16th, 2024, and today we're going to be reading a reflection called The First Promise. I found it in the book Easy Does It, a book of daily 12-step meditations. So please feel free to read and follow along, and let's get into it. The First Promise. We will know a new freedom and a new happiness from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. A new freedom and happiness for us is an almost unbelievable promise. Before recovery, we had little choice and less freedom. Everything we did had to be set up to meet the demands of our compulsion. Try as hard as we possibly could, we could never prevent the consuming urge of our addiction. A powerful compulsion took over all our waking hours. Our lives were controlled by our desires. There was a constant need to bow to the demands of our addiction. It made all our decisions for us. There was no freedom and only a small bit of happiness at the very best. We always had to pay the piper, and we knew it. When freedom came with abstinence, so came joy, gratitude, and love for others and ourselves. I once believed that I could control my addiction. When I found it wasn't possible, I felt deep depression, guilt, shame, and remorse. I felt I no longer had freedom. Recovery finally gave me a choice. Promises do come true. I like that. I like that. That feels like really empowering. You know, when I'm reading that, I'm just like, woof. Like once it gets on all of the recovery stuff, I got to start getting all fired up. I relate so much with all those first sections that it talks about on just how once I'd crossed that line from like dependency into full-on addiction, I completely lost the power of choice. Like, you know, I remember one time I'd had friends over at my place and I was loading up a bowl, getting ready to smoke it. My friend looks at me and he's just like, "Hey, I thought you were trying to quit or like slow down or something." And I was literally putting that bong with tears in my eyes, just being like, I can't not smoke this. Like it just, because that's the devil I know, and I know what my life's going to look like if I'm high. If I don't know what my life's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen to my mental health, my state, what I'm going to do. That's way more terrifying. So I need to get loaded. So I remember that so much. And I remember the first time I'd heard that promise, we will know a new freedom and a new happiness. And same thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, bullshit. Like, sure, whatever. But then within the hour of the meeting, and again, I'm talking a 12-step meeting, just seeing people sitting around genuinely smiling, laughing, happy. I was like, wait, were we supposed to come high to this thing? Like, I thought, what? You know, they apparently had that. They had a new freedom and a new happiness. And at that time, that wasn't a language that I spoke, you know? So as I've heard, you may have heard people say in meetings, don't leave before the miracle happens. So I didn't, and I stayed, and I stuck around. And sure enough, that miracle happened for me too. And I absolutely know a new freedom and a new happiness. I mean, I don't think recovery, and again, even outside of 12-step, like, I don't think all these meetings and group therapies and treatment centers and aftercares, like all of these things wouldn't exist if there wasn't some truth to this. You know, it's not like this big conspiracy where we're all getting together to keep this lie up. Like, it really happens. And it can really happen for you. It really can. The thing in this reflection, well, it's funny enough that I'd say I don't like, but it's a reflection. You only have so much space to work with, is that it just jumps. It goes from like, oh, in addiction, you completely suffered and had no sense of control and were hopeless and all that stuff was terrible. And then now in recovery, everything's so much better and sunshine and unicorns and all that shit, but it doesn't tell you how to get there. There's no guidance. There's no jump on how to get there. So if you feel like you're stuck, just keep coming. Just keep coming back. Just keep going to meetings, finding new meetings and ones that work. Both 12-step and not 12-step. There is more out there, right? Looking in with other professional supports, treatment if you need it, something like that. There are a lot of steps in between, but you don't have to figure that out by yourself. And as I'd said before, I do offer private recovery coaching. So if you like what you're hearing and feel like that's something that I can help support you in, then please send me an email, lucas@spotlightrecovery.com. I've got space available right now. I'd love to have a chat and see if there's a way that I can help you make this first promise come true. And besides that, just thank you for joining us for another episode. Thank you for checking out the channel. Please go down to all the links in the description. We've got a bunch of other resources for you, recovery coaching videos, a podcast, recovery merch, a network of other service providers we're building. So please go and check all those out. And put something down in the comments. What stood out for you in this reflection, right? Well, what resonated with you? What did you like and not like? I love daily reflections so much. Anybody who knows me in the program just knows I love starting my day off with these. And they can be a great way for you to get connected in your program. And also, too, your share might really help somebody else. And that's kind of the whole point of this thing. So check them all out. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.